Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Malicious Compliance. In today's episode, Ex's divorce lawyer, send 3 years of complete financials or else. Me, as you wish. I'll add that user for you. You want it done by the book? You got it. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Ex's divorce lawyer, send 3 years of complete financials or else. Me, as you wish. This happened several years ago when my ex and I were going through a heated divorce/custody battle. While we were married, we had a couple of conversations about how rich people hide their assets to avoid paying taxes. I've never had enough assets to do this, but she somehow got the idea that I was and told her attorney that I was laundering money and hiding income. It was more likely the heat of the moment, as divorce/custody battles often come down to. I couldn't even afford my own attorney, so I represented myself. Her lawyer wasn't a total ass, but he clearly was out to get me, and he talked down to me like I didn't deserve to breathe the same air. One day, I get a letter in the mail from him requesting an updated income declarations form and 3 years of financials. It had a long-ass list of things to include. I own a communications tech company that was in super startup phase back then. Money was already tight. I was trying to get this business off the ground with no financing. I was finishing my MBA with scholarships and loans, so paying for copies and postage or driving this 30 miles to his office meant eating peanut butter and saltines for a week. So I called him to explain my situation. He all but called me a liar and didn't believe I couldn't afford it. I was put off by that, and I said this was taking time away from business I needed to handle. To which he replied, and I'll never forget this, well, according to your income declarations, you're not that busy. What do you do all day? He then said if he didn't get these documents, he would consider my previous filings as fraudulent, tell the judge, contact the DA, and also alert the state tax agency and IRS. Probably an empty threat, but I'm no lawyer. eFax is one of the services my company provides, and at this time it was relatively unknown. So I asked him if he has a fax machine. He said he had a fax/scanner/copier device, then said what law office doesn't have a fax machine? And I suddenly got an idea. Okay, I said to him, I'll put together and fax whatever I can. Okay. You want 3 years of financials? You got it. I scanned to PDF every receipt I could find. McDonald's receipt from 5 years ago? Won't hurt to include it. CVS receipt? It's 3 miles long, perfect. They get the $1 off toothpaste coupons too. I downloaded every bank statement, credit card statement, purchase orders from vendors, and every invoice I sent to clients. I printed to PDF the entire 3-year accounting journal, monthly/quarterly/annual balance sheets, cash flow statements, P&Ls. Not only did I PDF 3 years of tax filings, but every single letter I received from the IRS and state tax agency, including the inserts advising me of my rights. It took a while, but I was a few days ahead of the deadline. I made a cover page black background with white lettering. Wherever I could, I included separator pages in all caps in the biggest, boldest font that would fit on the page in landscape, 20xx receipts, 20xx taxes, etc. I merged everything into a single 150-plus page compressed PDF and sent the document using my eFax system. Every hour or so, I received a status email saying the fax failed. Huh, that's weird. Well, they're getting this document. So I changed the system configuration to unlimited retries after failures to keep redialing until it went through. Weird, I was still getting status email failures. I'll delete the failure emails and keep the success one after it eventually goes through, I thought. Problem solved. 2 days later, a lady from his office called and asked me to stop sending the fax. Their fax/scanner/printer/copier had been printing nonstop. It kept getting paper jams, kept running out of ink, and they had to keep shutting it off and back on to print. I explained that her boss told me to send this by the deadline or else he would call the DA and IRS. Since I didn't want a call from the DA or the IRS, I would keep sending until I get a success confirmation. I suggested they just not print until my fax completes, but she didn't like that. She asked me to email the documents, and I told a little white lie that my email wouldn't allow an attachment that big. Unless her boss in writing agreed to cancel the request or agree to reimburse me for my costs to print and ship, I said I would continue to fax until they confirmed they have received every page. She put me on hold, and the attorney gets on the line. He said forget sending the financials. I said that I would need this in writing, so I will keep sending the fax until he sent that to me. He asked me to stop faxing and he would send it in writing, and I said send it in writing first and then I'll stop. Long moment of silence, click. About 20 minutes later, I received an email from his assistant with an attached, signed letter in PDF that I no longer needed to provide financials. The letter then threatened to pursue sanctions in court or sue me for interfering with their business. Every time I saw him after that, the lawyer never brought up sanctions, lawsuits, criminal referrals, or financials again. The facts, the whole facts, and nothing but the facts. I call it paper bombing. I do this, generally via scan and email, when the entire record is requested. I was asked if the receiver needs the entire record, or just the most recent court orders, case plan, assessment, etc. Most of the time they say they just want the most recent set of documents plus the entire narrative. Easy peasy for them and me. But, if they ask for the entire record, that is exactly what they get. It may take me days in between my regular work, but if you want 4 banker boxes full, you get 4 banker boxes full. I never copy and snail mail. They waste my time for unnecessary paperwork. They can waste their own paper and printer toner/ink. In all the years I've done this, or 10 out of the last 19, I've only had to do the full paper bombing 3 or 4 times. I actually enjoyed putting this all together and sending it. Not gonna lie. This made me laugh out loud. I especially love the black ink, white text, and extreme separator pages. Well done. There was a fax bomb you used to be able to do with the old thermo paper. Hit it with a lighter/torch/clothes iron and it'd turn black. Since it usually came on a roll, you could get a nice long strip of it, blacken it, and then start sending it through a fax. Once the end sticks out, you tape it to the top. Keep scanning. It would send the other side black page after black page. Non-stop. Until they pulled the cord out of the back of the machine to kill it. Now that they opted out of faxes, maybe a singing telegram? My ex and I had a nasty battle too. Years later, she tried suing me for something unrelated, so I decided to sue for a modification of child support. She thought I was hiding assets too. I was paying $2,000 per month for one kid. Wanted it reduced to $1,500. So $6,000 per year with 7 years left till she's 18. $42,000 overall. Her attorney requested every financial document from all my personal and business over 3 years. And I mean everything. They hired a forensic accountant. The attorney was $500 per hour. It took me weeks, but I sent close to 20,000 pages of documents. They spent weeks going over everything. Their accountant couldn't find anything. She spent $80,000 in legal fees and I ended up getting what I asked for. My attorney was about $10,000, so I made out on the deal. I'll add that user for you. Longtime lurker in this subreddit. Many years ago, I worked in a company's IT department. Part of my duties was to add new users to the in-house software system. I get an email from somebody in the company to say please add Samantha to the system. I thought that I knew everyone who worked in the building where this person emails me from. The email didn't give specifics as to what parts of the system Samantha would need access to. I created the credentials and told the person that it was done. A week later, one of my colleagues asks why I didn't add security roles for Samantha. My response was I was only asked to create a user account. I'm just an admin, not a psychic. Low-effort requests are often met with low-effort solutions. Clients will learn quickly if that's how you handle these situations. Help me help you is a good way of explaining it to vague clients demanding support. Kind of yes, kind of no. I worked in one team which was IT/OT, but not the IT department. Whenever I would put on my IT hat and make a call to the service desk and explain the situation, the desk made it harder for me to achieve what I needed. If I played it off like I was a regular user, it would be fixed in little to no time. I don't think I was being haughty or anything. It would literally be, hey, the disk on my laptop is dying, I need a tech, and they would spend 15 minutes getting me to check what I already knew before sending a tech. If I just called, gave the asset number and said, my laptop is dead, they would send a tech straight away. Wait, it took them a whole week of her not being able to access or get anything done before someone brought that up? Yep, that story checks out, you're definitely IT. Every time I think that I have got the idiots beat, somebody makes a better idiot. You want it done by the book? You got it. My first time posting here. I work as a software engineer in a mid-sized tech company. My boss, let's call him John, is known for his strict adherence to company policies and procedures, often to the point of absurdity. He insists that every single task, no matter how small or insignificant, must be documented and approved before we can start working on it. One day, John assigned me a task that was relatively simple: updating the color scheme of our app. Normally, this would take me about an hour to complete. However, John insisted that I follow the company's full software development process for this task. This meant I had to write a proposal, get it approved by several departments, write test cases, conduct testing, get approval from the quality assurance team, and finally deploy the changes. Seeing an opportunity for some malicious compliance, I decided to do exactly as John asked. I spent 2 days writing a detailed proposal for the color scheme update. I then sent it off to the various departments for approval, which took another 3 days. Writing the test cases and conducting the testing took another 2 days. Finally, getting approval from the quality assurance team and deploying the changes took another 3 days. In total, a task that should have taken an hour ended up taking almost 2 weeks because of John's insistence on following company procedures to the letter. When John asked why it took so long, I simply told him that I was following his instructions and doing everything by the book. From that day forward, John became a bit more flexible with how strictly we needed to adhere to company procedures for minor tasks. I once had to do that for a single-digit change in a database, extending a column from 4 to 5 or so. It was okay though, we weren't agile anyway, so it was just one of the changes that were going into the next release half a year later. And it was for ATC, so there was a reason for having a somewhat overly safety-focused approach. Still felt weird. This is just agile, man. This is often the case. Adhering to strict regulations slows things down to a crawl, wasting time and money. I think you should continue to do it. You can't get in trouble for following company policy. Stand back and let them waste as much time and money as possible on red tape. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.